There's a story related by Dr. P.P. Job. I don't know if anybody ever heard of him. He's considered the Billy Graham of India. He holds rallies and he's done a lot of stuff. And he's had some high cost himself. 2 of his sons were killed specifically because he is a preacher of the gospel. And the radical Hindus killed 2 of his sons to try to get him to stop. But in his book, Why God, Why?, he tells the story of the Garo Indians, who's an Indian tribe in northern India. They were considered a fierce, violent people. And he tells a story of one of their first converts. And the chief of the village wasn't happy at all that he had converted. So he drags the man and his family up. And he says, "You need to recant and leave this behind." And the man says, "You know what? I found something worth living for finally." And he said, "I'm not going to recant." So the chief says, "Bring his 2 sons forward." And he brings his 2 sons forward. And he says, "You can either recant or I'm going to kill your sons in front of you." And he answers with a song. And according to Jobs in his book, it was just spontaneous. It's a tune that they knew well. It's a tune, it was a Hindustani tune. But he sings the word. And the literal translation would be, "After Jesus, I will follow." But you know it better as this.
I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back.
The chief says, "Bring his wife forward." And he says, "Look, you just lost your 2 sons. I'm going to kill your wife if you don't recant." And according to P.P. Jobs, the literal translation is the next thing he says is leaving the ways of the world and carrying the cross. But you know it better as this.
The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back, no turning back.
And the chief says, "Look at what your stubbornness has cost you. It's cost you your wife and your children. You need to recant." And to that the man answers, "Though none go, I will follow." But you know it translated in English as this.
Though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. Though none go with me, still I will follow. No turning back, no turning back.
The chief, on seeing that this man had that kind of commitment, says, "What is it about a man that lived years, thousands of years ago, and in a place completely this far away, could inspire one of my people so much that he's willing to sacrifice that much for it? I don't know what it is, but that's the kind of person I want to follow." And he immediately turned his life over to Christ. And the whole tribe did that was with him. The Garo Indians today are 85% Christian. It is one of the most Christianized subgroups in all of India. One man, one hero who found his purpose and said, "I'm following Jesus regardless of what comes. Regardless of what it costs me, because I found something far greater than me." I don't know where you're at this morning. I don't know if maybe you've just been languishing on the sides and you're bored. If that's the case, there's more to life than that. Maybe you haven't decided yet to follow Jesus. You're still exploring the faith, or maybe you came this morning, you're not even sure why. And this morning now God's talking to you saying, "I want you to follow me with that kind of devotion." But if your prayer this morning is that you want to be that kind of Christian that finds the true purpose for your life today, right now, that's so much greater and higher than anything you've had, that you're willing to sacrifice anything, then I invite you to stand and sing this song. If you don't mean it, don't stand. That's okay. It's perfectly fine. We'll love you anyway. If you're on the journey and you're still trying to figure out what this whole faith means, feel free to sit there. But if it's your heart's desire to follow Jesus with all of your heart and to be a true hero that finds purpose and meaning and the place that God has created you to be, then I invite you to stand and sing this song and mean it.